Oh, you get to watch my elbows again. So, last time I did this, apparently I never turned on my video camera, so I was basically talking to my telephone, and then it blipped on me. I'm like, what the heck? Must have ran out of memory. Maybe I didn't delete the last message or the last video that I recorded. Because it takes me so long to get to work, you know, I can sit here and try to fill up all the time. I run out of things to say most of the time. But really, ladies and gentlemen, what it boils down to is we are literally a bunch of dumb animals living on a planet, blind and oblivious to, well, I'm sharing the alley with someone. Who in the world is going to work at the same time that I do? Mike is the one who comes home from work at the same time I go to work. But apparently somebody else decided they want to go to work early in the morning. Damn pains in the asses. So there's only enough room on this alley for me. Is that? Oh, cutting it a little too close that time. Running into the frickin' weed. Damn weed, anyway. Who the hell taught me how to drive? Oh, anyway, okay, so we're a bunch of dumb animals. Oblivious to what things are going to basically just pick us off one by one. Well, actually, probably in the millions. But, you know, our biggest concern really shouldn't be flying rocks from outer space clobbering the planet. Because, well, if there were only 3 horribly violent impacts evident on the Earth's surface in the history of the planet existing, say, for instance, approximately 4.4 billion years before present, then getting hit by a rock that's big enough to just really set us back, really slim, really slim. Global warming, on the other hand, is sitting right on our front doorstep. I don't even know what the boar patch was. So there you have it. That should be our primary concern, because as we heat the planet up, the planet's going to start doing some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. Crazy stuff that we've never seen before, because we have mostly existed in the colder temperatures of our planet's history, at least as far as I can tell. And as far as the dating goes for all of our scientists and the archaeology and paleontology and things of that nature, right? So here's the thing, you know, I'm not sure what color the dragon was, but the Chinese folklore of the dragon, I'm telling you right now that Taklamakan is Earth's largest volcano, which I'd like to call it the supermassive volcano, so we'll call it the Taklamakan supermassive volcano. Why nobody can see that it had lava flows coming out of it at a point in time, I don't know. What does this have to do with the Chinese dragon? It has a lot. China's going to be on fire. When this Earth starts becoming liquefied again, and the vortices begin to affect the crustal layer of our planet and start rotating again, Taklamakan could come back to life. It's not as guaranteed, say for instance, as maybe Yellowstone. Yellowstone and North America, well, first of all, North America is a much thinner continental mass. Asia, Russia is a very thick continental mass. Africa is also a very thick continental mass. For the most part. It starts breaking up over there, of course, where you get to see that one eastern point of Africa up around the Persian Gulf. All right. So as the world begins to turn and it sort of becomes, reaches a state of liquefaction, vortices start rotating, you will see Spain begin to rotate and pivot in place counterclockwise. Probably won't be like, a clock work going backward. It won't be that quick, but it will begin to rotate clockwise. Gibraltar will be pushed and spread apart, and the Spanish side of Gibraltar is going to find itself in the middle of the Mediterranean. Vesuvius will see Italy torn in half as Vesuvius moves west. Wait, my bad. Vesuvius moves east. Excuse me, got that one backward. All right, Vesuvius is going to end up going east. And now, why am I getting confused with directions? Well, because you got to think about what direction the vortex is rotating in, and the Lake Victoria Vortex, which has a 45-degree perimeter that cuts right through Vesuvius, is rotating clockwise. So what does that mean? That means that everything within that circle is going to start rotating clockwise as well, meaning that Vesuvius is going to move east. Actually, Vesuvius might just be torn apart and some other Vesuvius shows up. So, anywho, got new headlights behind me. I have to watch this one. So, let's see, what else happens? All right, now Japan, Hokkaido, the island of Hokkaido, might actually be spared pivotal rotation because it sits right on top of the crest of what was once a semi-molten wave, a semi-molten lava tsunami type wave and stuff. All right, we're good. And so anyway, that one might be spared just because of its situation. Yeah, I'm driving like a yo-yo right now. This guy's gonna like, wow, oh, he's gonna speed up, huh? Oh, I'm gonna pass that guy. You ain't getting past me, bro. I got you. Speed limit increases up here anyway, so I'm gonna start early. Yeah, look at me go. Trucker Bob getting out of the way. All right, hit the faster zone. Woohoo! Okay, let's see, what else is going on? Something else is going on out there. Oh yeah, so when you think about the supermassive Taklamakan, what the hell did I call that thing? The Taklamakan supermassive volcano. Ah, there goes the state trooper. He going after that other guy that was like in a hurry to get past me. So anywho, there you go, Rod. Where'd that guy come from? He's probably going to pull that guy over here, Schwatley. He's pacing him right now. He's pacing him to see if he recognizes that he's being paced by the state trooper. and then if he doesn't slow down because he's like, oh crap, oh, I wasn't paying attention to my speed limit or my speedometer, I better slow down. Oh, there's state trooper. Okay, I got it, boss. He'd be okay, right? Yeah, no, he's gonna keep going. They're like, I got this. Who is this on my ass? I'm not moving over. I'm slow traffic now, but I'm not merging right for this fast guy on my ass. Hell no, I own this road. Ah, well, he moved over to the right. What do you know? Took him a while. There goes another state trooper looking vehicle. That's how that instructor said it in Germany. Vehicle. Whoa, dark car on the side of the road. All right, let's see. What else is going to go on? Oh, right, yeah. So, you have the Arctic vortex and you have the Lake Victoria Vortex. And the Lake Victoria Vortex is rotating clockwise. And let's see, the Arctic Vortex is rotating in the opposite direction of the planetary rotation, which is a natural occurrence. And that means that Crimea sits right on top of the turbulent tangent of these two vortices. So what does that tell us? That tells us when the Earth becomes liquefied, Crimea will be destroyed. We will end up seeing the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea merge into one sea, tearing apart Georgia, Azerbaijan, and the other one is Armenia. Wow, what a lot of traffic this morning. I'm going to work at the normal time today. I didn't feel like going to work early. Got a lot of fast movers too. Check it out. Just watching traffic, sipping my coffee, talking to my phone. All right, so, what other surprises did I have out there? Now, you see, before, oh yeah, I keep talking about Taklamakan and then I get sidetracked. It's like, okay, so if you think about looking at the Earth from outer space, say, for instance, at my usual preferred elevation of 10,000, pretty sure it's just 10,000 miles over the surface of the Earth. If the Taklamakan supermassive volcano was nearing its end of fluidity, if we want to call it that, and basically just having rivers of lava flow coming out of it on the east and on the west, basically what you would see is a very bright, luminescent, red dragon going across the planet. So, well, chances are the Chinese didn't fly back at the time this basic lava river would have existed, right? But that doesn't mean that they didn't find a way to get to a high enough elevation around the Himalayas to be able to see this great red dragon in its form at that time, which would have been current for them, right? And at that time, when this dragon-looking river of lava would have existed, the Earth was probably a lot warmer. That means they could have gone a lot higher in the elevation of the Himalaya before freezing to death, right? At least you'd think so, anyway. Tractor Bob here is going to probably want to get into this lane to go around all them trucker bobs. Tractor Bob forgot his trailer. Oh, can't drink coffee on a bridge. Wow, I got a fast mover coming up on my rear right. 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock, fire! Uh-oh, yeah. Well, around here you never know, right? sorry, Trucker Bob with large trees. I might have merged over sooner than I normally would, you know, when I'm using my sense in my head. But maybe Speedy Doo guy here will catch the trooper. The trooper never did pull that other one over, I guess because he got out of the way. He or she, I just always call him he's, because more often than not, it's a dude. There are some women out there that drive faster, but I haven't really run into too many of them. It's usually some dude trying to show off his testosterones. So, because he got something to prove, because apparently he's insecure. That's what it boils down to, insecurity. And I'll show you what I can do. Yeah, just watch. I'm so tough. God, look, watch this display of energy I have. Yeah, I can drive faster than you. Like, maybe only 3.3 microns of a minuscule, but I can go faster than you. And watch me go. I'm so cool. Yeah, that's my impersonation of shitheads. So, anywho, let's go back to the planet revolving. I think I just about pretty much named off all of the... Because you notice most of all of our continents seem to be in the northern hemisphere. Hasn't anybody ever bothered to ask why? Okay, well that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm telling everybody that Pangea never really left the planet. It didn't go around like a bunch of clouds. Now I'm driving like a freaking yo-yo. Past that guy and he's going to pass me again. It didn't move around the planet like clouds, aimlessly. It's based on some weird current. The currents are the same. The currents do migrate depending on the planet's axial tilt and the polar orientation. But the continents pretty much end up mostly just staying where they are, with the exception of centrifugal force pulling them down toward the equator. But that is only because our continental masses were too large to stay in the northern hemisphere. So centrifugal force has a greater effect on their straining toward the South Pole. And as it turns out, when I'm looking at these two separate periods of vortical rotation on the planet, each one had created one set of spiral density arms in Antarctica, which means that the current location of Antarctica might not have existed at the time preceding those two events. And then it made me start to look more closely at Australia. I'm like, Australia was once a part of Antarctica. Oh, I'm still there on that one. But the more I look at it, the more I realize Australia was Antarctica in the very beginning. Australia was on the South Pole because it has a vortex carved into it, right in the middle of it. Go figure, right? And guess what lies on one of the spiral density fractures of said vortex? That's right, Uluru. It wasn't exactly where I expected to find Uluru. I was more like thinking Uluru was going to be like in the middle of the vortex, kind of like foam going in the middle of the vortex in your coffee cup or something. But no, it's right on top of a frickin' spiral density fracture. weird place to find sandstone. It would seem, anyway, right? So, there you go. Now, either Australia migrated as a continent toward the today's equator, or the Earth's polar orientation has shifted that far to where it is today. Really hard to say. I mean, there's really nothing else to go on for Australia to make up any other determination. Well, if I keep driving slow, I'm going to get to work late. Driving like a fork and yo-yo, eh? Well, so let's see. I already told you about Spain rotating counterclockwise. Now, before the Taklamakan supermassive volcano had those huge flows of lava that, in essence, created Iran and created Turkey. That's right. And guess what's on the end of that tail of, well, it's not really quite the end of the tail. The tail probably goes all the way to Spain, but it became much weaker by the time you get to Spain. So pretty much Greece becomes the end of that whole flow. And the sea between Greece and Turkey is just concealing part of that flow. So Greece is pretty much solid. It's probably not going to go anywhere. And I keep driving like a yo-yo. Yeah, well. Let's see. So Greece is probably good. So basically, before that lava land bridge cut the Caspian Sea off from the Arabian Sea and the Persian Gulf, it was all together the Caspian, Persian, Arabian Sea. And before Turkey came into existence, the Mediterranean and the Black Sea were one and the same as, say, for instance, the Mediterranean Black Sea. Yeah, go figure, right? Well, let's see, what else? That pretty much sums it all up. So if you want to talk about all of the good types of heavier elements being in some sort of abundance. Oh, have I already reached here? Wow, I got here fast. I should talk to my phone more often. So basically, if Australia was actually Antarctica in the beginning, which is why it's a landmass versus a spiral density arm, as the heavier elements would have settled at the base of the planet, which is the South Pole, and that's not just coincidental, that's due to its orientation and its positioning within the galaxy, hello, then that means it would have been more like a landmass. Just like the foaming up of the core of the landmass of Pangaea at the North Pole, which is lighter in weight than the Australian masses, But, oh wow, state troopers are really out there. But, anywho, let's see. That state trooper got me off my train of thought. So, yeah, let's see. Let me see. What was I talking about? Okay. Wow, imagine the effect state troopers have on you when you're driving down the freeway. They should just shut you up. You're just like speechless. Oh look, he tipped his hat. Oh shit. Don't tip the blue round. Ah! Okay. Let me see if I can go back to some thoughts here. Yeah, I was talking about something. Yeah, I can't remember what the hell electrical cord in the middle of the freeway. That's better than the freaking 12-foot utility ladder in the middle of the freeway, crossing the middle lane of all places. Yeah, that happened once. I had to let the state trooper, the first one I came up on, I had to let him know. That was dangerous. So, let's see. Now, where I was talking about the seas having been together. All right. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell people. If you don't believe what it is I'm talking about, look at it yourself. You have to look at it with an open mind, because if you don't, you're not going to figure it out. Because if people could figure it out, they would have figured it out by now. In far greater and to the detail that I've come to. But I'm telling you that the only reason I came to this detail, or this extent of what I see and perceive as my understanding of the planet's functional properties, I had to look beyond the planet. So when you have scientific grants that are only given to either one particular discipline or the other, you're missing the discipline that's in the middle that bridges the two, which is extremely important, because the universal galactic study grants cover what's going on beyond our solar system, and then the other grants cover what's going on in our solar system, but there's no grants from our government that cover people studying what is in our galaxy that makes our solar system work. So nobody thinks about it. And that's extremely essential to understand, that the galaxy is responsible for rotating our solar system. And if you can't put those two together, you're not going to figure out how the gyroscopic behavior of a planet, a star, a TSO, terrestrial stellar object, for those of you who don't know what I mean, or a black hole, right? And gas giants function. They all have the same functional properties. And you're just not going to know that if you don't open your mind and you close the gaps between the different elements. Everything in the cosmos is connected, and everything has an effect on something else. Period. You can't have the existence of one specific thing without that specific thing's existence affecting some other specific thing's existence. We're just not smart enough to realize the impact that these very minute things have on the greater scale, because we're born into it, so we don't recognize it for what it is. Excuse me. So there you go, right? Space, 1999. We were supposed to be living on the moon by 1999. I mean, they had a whole show about it. Are we there yet? They're talking about moving on to the Mars, and it's like, we don't even live on the moon, people. Hurry up and go out there and figure out whether or not those alien-looking establishments on the moon are really aliens or just people's wild imaginations of rock formations that look like, to make the surface of the planet look like somebody lives there. You know what I mean? Get rid of the conspiracy theories. Find out the facts. That's what they should be doing. Go on the other side of the moon, the dark side, and check it out. See what's going on. Wear anti-static boots to keep the freaking moon dust off. Speaking of moon dust, boy, I tell you, man, the Middle East is full of that stuff. It's sand, but it's like moon dust. You can't breathe it, you can't walk in it, you kick it even slightly, it just goes in the air and it just sits in the air. It doesn't go anywhere. And when they have those huge waves of dust storms that you can see from outer space, when you're standing in it, yeah, you can't breathe then either. You think you're going to be safe when you go inside of a building or something? Forget it, dude. That's why they live in mud huts. It makes no sense to have a clean house, because once those storms blow over, your house is just covered from top to bottom in freaking moon dust. It's worse. Well, I don't know if it's worse than drywall, powdery drywall, but it's wow, what the hell's going on, people? All right, this guy's going way too slow for me. I don't know what his deal is. Trucker Bob. Creeping. State troopers must have been sitting on their usual spot right there watching the freeway. Trucker Bob wasn't even doing the speed limit, for Pete's sake. This load can't possibly be that heavy. He must be lost. So, here I am, back on the road again. On the road again! That's all I know about that song. Well, I know the kind of like the tune. That's it. That's my musical talent right there. It stops right at the end of that whatever you want to call it, melody, right? Well, anyhow. Okay, so now people are probably thinking, "Oh, this idiot! How in the hell is there going to be a maelstrom at the North Pole if the ice melts and it turns into a slushy maelstrom? If that was the case, there'd be a maelstrom in the middle of the Pacific Ocean." Well, it's like, because, you know, the middle of the Pacific Ocean is kind of where the Pacific Oceanic Vortex vortical core exists. So if it exists there, then why isn't there a maelstrom right there? Well, because the equatorial vortices are controlled from within the Earth. The polar vortices are controlled from outside the Earth. They are controlled by outside forces in our galaxy, not from the Earth itself. That's why the first element, the first energy to contact the planet is going to affect the poles before the poles are going to affect the core. Ta-da! There you go. Well, I guess I should focus on trying to get to work on time. I actually seem to be doing kind of okay. Well, at least according to my car clock, which is off by about 7 minutes. I mean, considering traffic's going pretty well, nobody clobbered anybody yet. So what else have I not mentioned? Have I not mentioned anything else? Got nothing else to talk about, I guess. That's it. A lot of lights out here today. Well, maybe I didn't want to put my mirror down. That guy's headlights are really bright. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said Crimea is going to be torn apart. Yep. See more activity in Africa's northeast portion, where it's already pretty much separating. The Great Rift. That might break apart. You might see water break up in there, wash up into there here pretty soon. Well, if the Earth starts getting liquefied, it'll happen a lot quicker. Probably not so fast that you can stand there and watch it. It'll be one of those very long, drawn-out processes, more than likely, because that's a lot of land mass to have to move to make it do that. It's kind of going to be kind of like what you see with icebergs breaking loose from Antarctica. Same thing. And when we watch icebergs break away from Antarctica, what direction do they go in? Do they go eastward? Or do they float westward? Or do they just float straight up to the equator? You know? Where are they going? What is their path? Well, I have a pretty good feeling their path is probably going to wind up being more westward. They'll start floating toward the west. Depending on where they break apart from Antarctica, they may or may not go into the Pacific Ocean. They're going to go in a spiral westward direction as they move toward the equator. It's going to be centrifugal force that sends them toward the equator. And it's going to be the coefficient of solar wind pressure drag that pushes them westward. all of those Arctic scientific stations, beware. When that ice starts turning into slushy, there won't be any place for a station to set anymore. It'll need to be a station that floats. They should have made them like the Ark. That way when the water comes in underneath, it floats. So, all you scientists and engineers out there, if you build any more scientific research structures for the North Pole, you might want to make a boat out of them. I don't know why they didn't think of that to begin with. Well, they think that it's always going to be freaking ice. Oh, well, there's been ice up here since as far back as we could remember. There'd never be no ice. Kind of really makes you wonder, though, about that map of Antarctica that supposedly describes Antarctica's landmass as it would appear if it did not have any ice sheets. So it totally makes you wonder if it really was void of ice sheets, at least along the shorelines at some point in time during the span of life in humanity, to the point where it was able to be seen and even drawn onto a skin or whatever it was drawn onto. If it wasn't drawn onto a skin, it was drawn onto some form of paper, which means somebody made the paper, because paper doesn't grow on trees, even though trees help you make it. Right? Somebody had to make it. And then, of course, as the volcanoes become more and more active, because the Earth is warming up so much, and they put all that schmuck into our atmosphere, we might not be able, well, maybe that's part of where Revelation talks about the sun will become as black as sackcloth. It's not because the sun itself has lost its luminosity, but because the atmosphere of the Earth is so thickened with putrefying ash and whatever the heck else goes up there that you can't see through it. And the sun is dimmed to the point where all of basically its warmth is just being reflected back off into space. So now you have a state where the Earth enters into a cooling period, and then you begin to see a whole global ice age once again become established in our on our planet. In which case, then the skies clear up, but then the ice reflects the heat. Well, okay, so the schmuck in the sky isn't going to be reflecting any heat. Nope, I guess it's the global warming crap, so it just continues cooking the planet, not cooling it off. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I guess I'll get out of this guy's way. Because they're talking about, well, but when the sun can't reach the Earth, then you also end up with an ice age, because it's not warming the Earth quite right. But, anyhow, so that makes you wonder about the whole nuclear winter theory. So what it boils down to is, as long as the schmuck is in the atmosphere, the Earth is going to be warm. Then when the schmuck finally falls back to the Earth's surface and the skies clear up, that is when you enter into an ice age. Because in the morning, when you're freezing your ass off out in the wilderness, been there, okay, it's cold as when the sun or when the sky is perfectly clear, cold as heck. You love it when there's clouds. So it's kind of funny because when you see snow on the ground, you're warm because you can see the clouds in the sky. So the snowy cold ground is actually warmer than it is when there's no cloud in the sky and there's snow on the ground. Yep. So, what's this guy doing? This dude pulled up beside me, he was looking at me or something. Now he fell back, probably wondering why I'm waving my arms around. It's weird. Well, anywho, oh, I guess I don't want to go over. Got a bunch of cars merging on an on-ramp, so it's like I don't want to go into that lane. They're going to be creeping along. Anyway, so basically you've got, I'm probably weaving all over the road and just not even knowing it, recognizing it because I'm sitting here talking to my phone. So people are like, whoa, 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 back off that guy. I think he's drunk. Woo, that guy's lights are bright. Damn, it's one of them jacked up rickety-doos. Alright, now, so basically, what it is the heated up Earth has a bunch of schmuck in the clouds, covers the sky, blocks out the sun. There's your sackcloth sun. And then it takes eons for the rain, because there's going to be rain, but the rain is not going to purify the atmosphere for a very long time. And it's just going to keep raining schmuckety rain until it finally filters out the atmosphere and new plant growth emerges. And because as it's thinning out the atmosphere, it's also allowing more photosynthesis to take place in parts of the more easily accessible or the more exposed portions of land on the planet, which would be right around the higher elevations. So you might actually, as an example, you might see trees growing on Everest or something, right? And then it just continues and continues to rain and filter the earth until finally the earth is back to a state that we recognize today. And by that time, it gets really cold because there's not a whole lot of clouds left in the sky and the earth becomes covered in ice. And then you have another global ice age. That guy was trying to put a dent in my bumper. I better watch this guy. What is going on? Why are we stopping? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven cars and a truck. Probably stopping because all the cars drove right up on the trucker's butt. Stomped on their brakes, and me not paying attention because I'm talking to my phone did the same thing. Maybe everybody's talking to their phone. Dumb people. There you go, right? People can't drive. I'm moving over, dude. Good thing you went to that left lane. I have to hurry up and get to work. 5:25. I'm supposed to be by Canunion by 5:23. So I'm just now hitting 512. So yeah, I'm behind schedule. I might have to run back into the back of the warehouse. Of course, you know, when I go to work, I work in the back side of the warehouse, so I have to park in the parking lot and then sprint, kind of like going to the airport, right? The flight that they hook you up with is like on the other side of the frickin' airport, and they give you 10 minutes to get there from one side of the airport to the other side. So you're like trying to run light speed across the airport. Everybody's getting in your way because they're in no hurry. They're stuck there for 7 to 10 hours waiting on their next flight. In the meantime, you're sitting there trying to weave in and out of people with your frickin' luggage. Yeah, that's me going to work through the warehouse. And then people that work at the front of the warehouse, they're just like, park, go to work. And you're like, why? What? Why? Why do I have to come to work early just to be to work on time? They don't come to work early. It's no fair. So, let's see. In case you're wondering, I'm probably clearing my lungs out from all that frickin' fiberglass dust and filth that I sucked in while I was pulling the insulation out of the walls in the kitchen to drop the lines. Yeah, interesting. Doesn't look like a box though. It's just a T-rug. And here's slow trucker, passing slow trucker now. He really slow. It's like, holy cow, why are you so slow, man? I'll let this truck that's driving up my tank trail here. Oh wait, that's not a tank trail. Is my tank trail? No, he wishes it was a tank trail. Is it a box? Nope, it's flatbed. Oh, look at me go. What? That was just a teeny weeny little flatbed friggin' utility truck. Well, it sure looked big in my rear view mirror. I really need to hurry up. I'm poking along. Kind of hard to pay attention when you're talking to your phone. Well, I mean, to the extent of actually driving with some sort of deliberation. Right now I'm just, well, at least I only pissed off one guy who's trying to drive up my tailpipe. So most of the other people seem to be tolerant of my yo-yoing. Speed up, the yo-yo, in case you're wondering, is a person who speeds up, slows down, because they're not paying attention to the speedometer. They're just like, my foot is getting heavy. Oh, going too fast. Okay, slow down. Okay, my foot is getting heavy. Oh, going too fast. Gotta slow down. Yep, there it was. Yep, so global warming, yep, that's what's going to really cause us a lot of issues. And denial is going to be our worst enemy. Everybody on the planet's just like, never seen it, never heard of it, nobody recorded it, couldn't possibly ever happen. Like Oingo Boingo's song, you know, nothing bad ever happens to me. Nothing bad ever happens to me. That's all I know. I can't remember the rest of it. Got street clouds up there over there for some reason. Not much of them. It's mostly a clear sky this morning. Oh, hey, was that Canunion? Oh, it is Canunion. Canunion at 5. Well, my car clock says I'm on time. I'm actually 7 minutes late. I better hurry up. Quit driving like a freaking yo-yo. Drive like I have a purpose. Yep. So, one of the things I was thinking about here the other day, I was saying, don't go fishing in Lake Victoria. Well, you know what? If the world gets to a point where the vortices become so active that you actually see the vortical core of Lake Victoria begin to rotate, you won't have to worry about there being water and getting sucked in it. There won't be any water. It'll have dried up. Because the heat from the crustal friction on top of global warming is probably going to dry it up to where there's hardly any water left. So, now I can't remember where the pink flamingos are. I really can't. There's some huge lake in Africa. I was kind of thinking it might be Lake Victoria. I have to look that up. But if I'm not mistaken, let's say for instance Lake Victoria is that pink flamingo lake, they're already talking about it drying up. That's a bad sign, ladies and gentlemen. The vortical core is drying up is a very bad sign. Oh yeah, I was going to compare it to mixing bowl stuff, right? So we're not going to see things just start spinning like a propeller on a shaft when these vortices start coming to life. It's going to take a little bit of time. And it's not going to be any different than when mom throws all of her, you know, big old clump of butter and a big old clump of this and big old clump of that into the mixing bowl. So you have a whole bunch of, bready, powdery dust crap going in there, and then a whole bunch of clumps of crap. And then she crams the beaters down inside of the crap and then starts beating it on low so it catches the crap and breaks it apart quicker. Right? Because if you start it on high, it's just going to throw all that crap all over the room. And you don't want that. So you got to start slow. So in the process of starting slow, all of the clumps, the crappity clumps on the top of around the top of the bowl, they're not really moving a lot. All the movement is down underneath at the bottom of the bowl where the beaters are. And then as the beaters begin to smooth out what's in the core, then they start to smooth out what's on the surface. And then you can turn the beater speed up so the beaters spin faster so that they rotate the schmuck faster into the baking bowl or whatever, the mixing bowl, until finally you get this fluid spiral density shape at the center top of your mixing bowl. Hello, Lake Victoria, Sapaliwini Forest, hello. No, it's plate tectonics, because there's plates like the kneecap on your knee, and it's kind of like a plate, and it just floats around the planet like a cloud. No. If it's floating around the planet like a cloud, it's going to be more like one of those clumps that's getting pushed around before it gets sucked down in and chewed up by the blender. But it's the blender that's blending that's going to chew it up. And we haven't really had that kind of blending. Not yet. Not since the Earth was first born, so to speak, when the whole entire planet would have been molten, right? And it would have looked red. It would have looked like a brown dwarf. In fact, who's to say that brown dwarfs aren't planets in their earliest form? Right? That's what I'm thinking. I don't think a brown dwarf is a star. I think it's a frickin' planet. It's a terrestrial planet like our Earth. It just hasn't developed yet. It still has to solidify up to a point where it establishes its planetary sutures, and then they grow together, and then you have a surface that is crustal. But until it gets to that point, it's just going to be looking like bright, fiery red tiger stripes going around the planet, and swirls and swiggity-doos and all this other stuff. Planetary evolution. There you go. Mantle convection. The North Polar Vortex, anticyclonic. Equatorial vortices, anticyclonic. The South Polar vortices are always going to be cyclonic. That's the poop chute. The planetary poop chute is the South Pole. The stellar poop chute is the South Pole. The TSO poop chute is the South Pole. The TSO GRB poop chute of the worst kind is the South Pole. I gotta try to figure out where I'm going here as I'll weave around my lane. All right. And gas giants. The gas giants poop chute is the South Pole. Chanel. All right. That was my brakes. That's what they sound like when I'm slowing down, like in a hurry. Damn it, got another red light. How much time do I have now? I'm looking at 5:37. It's gonna take me, it'll be 5:47, 5:55. Yeah, it's probably gonna end up being about 5:55 when I finally get to the street that the warehouse is on. Hopefully I get there soon enough that I can. It takes me 4 minutes to get from the parking lot to the back side. I know, it's only 4 minutes, right? But here I am. I'm running like I'm crossing the airport. Not really. I usually, if I'm late, I'm just like, fuck it. I'm late. It's my ass, my fault. My bad. I'm late. Sorry. Couldn't seem to get my shit together today. At least I didn't miss movement. Not that movement. I never missed that movement. It's kind of hard to miss that movement. Well, you can miss it. I mean, I suppose you could call it missing it if it's premature and it happens before you get to the zone, the drop zone. Yeah. Well, if I catch every freaking red light from here to the freaking warehouse and freaking frickety frackets, I am going to be late. Damn lights. They do that on purpose. They make them work more when there's more traffic. What's really bothersome is when the frickin' light turns red and you're sitting there and there's like nobody around. And you're like thinking to yourself, why am I stopping? I'm not sharing the road with anyone, people. This is why we have stoplights that have sensors, okay? Get a sensor, put it in the ground so the stoplight knows when I get there and can turn red for the other guys who are in turn waiting to go somewhere. or something. But after me, of course, because I got there first. So like the sensor doesn't tell the light to turn red on me. It tells the light to stay green. Or to turn green. Hello. Who decided green was supposed to mean go anyway? I mean, it's obvious what red is for. Red represents fire, and fire is something you don't really want to mess with normally, right? So that's why we would consider red to be, you know, to mean something is dangerous. But where in the hell did green come up with go? Like, when I think about going somewhere, do I think in the color green, or do I think in the color blue? Because the sky is the limit, right? That's what they always say. The sky is the limit. The sky ain't green. If the sky was green, well, maybe it's green around the poles every now and then, but it's not normally green. So, like, why would I associate the color green with go? Because it's not like you're using the same color green as the trees. Well, I don't know. There might be some trees that are that color green. Whoa, I'm following the traffic at their speed. Maybe I will. I'm going to go the speed of traffic right now and cheat a little. Because, like, they're going to get me to work sooner. You know? Just like the flock of birds flying in the sky all together in unison to get away from the hawks and shit. Yeah, that's me. The hawk can't get all of us. Ain't that the way it works? Yep, that's the way safety in numbers. That's right. If everybody's fucked up, then nobody's fucked up. Because it's the norm and should be acceptable. Isn't that the way we think? Maybe not consciously, but definitely. Woo! Boy, that recycle plant for cardboard, man, just like driving right through somebody's poop. It makes you wonder, why in the hell does wet cardboard smell like poop? I don't get it. It's wood, it's dead tree shit, but when you put it into a pool to beat it up and turn it and reutilize it as, you know, a new cereal box, why does it smell like shit? So basically they're making new cereal boxes out of shitty smelling cardboard crap. And you're like, why doesn't my cereal box smell like shit? It says right here, 100% recycled shit. All right. Hey, I made it to the road. What time was it? I got here at 5:43, which is actually kind of like 4 minutes sooner than I expected to be here. I thought it was going to take me 10 minutes to get here. Cool. I might actually get to work with enough time to, because you know how the old rule goes for old people, right? Never pass a toilet. Make sure I hit the toilet at the front of the building. I got to make sure I get to work on time so I have time to hit the toilet at the front of the building before I walk that 500 million mile 4-minute walk to the back of the building. Because Lord knows if I do that and I'm stuck doing that and then I only get there right at the moment that we have our little safety briefing, then it's kind of like I have to hold it longer. And you know how it is for old people when it comes to holding it. For some reason, it's really hard to do. That trucker Bob actually parked on a curb. Wow. So many of these guys are just like, yeah, I'm going to park right here. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, unlike all these other guys, you know what? And I'm going to park right here on the curb where my trailer doesn't fit. And my trailer ass is going to be sticking out into the road so that there's only like 6 feet for any car to pass me. That way, when people come hauling ass around the corner, they'll just cream my bumper and get ripped up and torn apart and die. Yeah. And I'd be like, wasn't my fault. They were driving too fast. I'm at work. What time is it? 5:45? Wow! I'm right on time, people, because 5:45 is when the key works. Damn it. I'll have to park down in the middle of the parking lot now because there's too many people here. I don't like parking next to anybody. I got to keep my space. Park out here where there's nobody left, nobody right, nobody forward, nobody rearward, nobody to my diagonals. I got the whole spot to myself. That way when I open my door, I opens it all the way. Because, of course, when you get old like I am, you need a Volkswagen door that opens up like over 90 degrees so that you can get out of the car like there wasn't a door there. American cars are just like, you just have to squeeze your fat ass between the door and the car, yo. Damn it, somebody's pulling in right next to me? Oh, good, they're staying behind me. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here before somebody blocks me. Bye.